Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher. I'm back for video number 65. This truly I don't think will be a long video because I have been sick with a cold. We think it's pollen because pollen is everywhere. My car is yellow from sitting outside with the pollen. My husband is not feeling well either. I think I gave it to him. But anyway, so I'm recording today, which is Friday, the 11th of March, because tomorrow I am feeling better. So tomorrow I'm going to Victorian Needle Arts, which is in Gainesville, an hour and 20 minutes away. And she's having her market days tomorrow, and some friends, we had already decided we were going to go down there, over there. It's kind of southwest from here. But anyway, we had already planned to go, and then I found out that's her market, special days, whatever. So we're going to go to that. So I wouldn't be able to record tomorrow. So all that to say, here I am. Anyway, it's a gloomy day. It's been raining here for 2 or 3 days, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so it won't really be a fun drive, but whatever. I've driven in snow, so I certainly can drive in rain. But I have a few things to show you. If I have time, I'm going to go through some kind of a designer spotlight of GiGi. And I've done a couple of her designs. I've done Isabella Fox, which I've shown you before, and I've done the Red Deer sampler. So I thought it would be fun to show you a few of the designs I have kitted of hers, and also some of the charts that I have. Hopefully I'll get to that. I don't really want this to be a long video because I'm afraid my throat will go and I won't be able to talk, and nobody wants to just sit in here and look at me. I mean, really. So what have I been stitching on in the last 2 weeks? Well, I pulled Jane Cowie because I had written one day that I stitched on Jane Cowie, but I also had something else on that day. So then I got to thinking, did I actually stitch on Jane Cowie? Jane Cowie is by the Scarlet House. And I just watched my last video, and I think I'm about at the same place. But what I think I did was I put just a few stitches. I think I had started the thing of grapes. I finished that. And then I started going, this dividing band is like you go twice with 2 different colors. And I think that's what I started. You can hardly see it because it just blends right in. It's the same color as that part of a leaf. So I think I started that, and then I put it down for whatever reason. Well, I know the reason. So that's Jane Cowie by the Scarlet House. Desperately want to get back to this very soon. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to get back to this one. I have a lot of things that I want to work on. I have some things I'd love to start. I have some things that I want to get back to that were whips. And then there's also market stuff. So the next time I do a video, I'll show you whatever I get at Victorian tomorrow. I did order a couple things that she's holding for me. I said don't ship them, just I'll get them when I get there. But I kind of want to spread the love. I want to get a few of the Brenda Gervais from Country Sampler, see what they kit, because I think some of those smalls they may kit. Sorry, I did bring my water, so. Anyway, so I want to get a few things from there. I ordered some Barb's Blend linen from Dying to Stitch. So I have some things coming, and but we'll see what all I get. One of the Blackbird books, the new Blackbird book, A Heart Remembers, I think is the name of it. And that's the bigger, I think it's 40 plus pages. That one Victorian was sold out of, because when I did a kind of a pre-order with her, it was aftermarket, but it was pre-order as far as I was coming to pick it up. Does that make sense? I'm kind of babbling now. My brain must be foggier. Anyway, she was out of that Blackbird book, so I ordered that from somebody else. So I have a couple of different things coming. The other thing I worked on in the last 2 weeks was my Hannah Tingy, also by the Scarlet House. And what I worked on is it's kind of one of those things that is a little bit hard to see that I worked on it, but I have. The progress is not as evident. And that is all of the fill-in on the house bricks. And then I started this basket down here. Now I still need to fill in the windows. And I also did this other tree over here. I think I had started it, but I filled that in. So that's kind of where I am on Hannah Tingy. But it did take quite a while, a lot of time to fill in that, I guess it'd be the mortar between the bricks on the house. So I worked on that a few days. And then as I knew would happen, is I had to get back to Charlotte Frost. I love this piece. I don't feel like it got its love or its due when she released it. Hold on. We'll see if I can get through this because I've been coughing a lot. I talked to my son the other day and he said, "Oh, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm kind of been sick." I said, "That's why my voice sounds like a man's." And he said, "Oh, I don't know if it's any different." Thank you very much. Oh. Charlotte Frost, also by the Scarlet House. This was a new start in February. I think I started around the middle of February. Somewhere around there. I'm using NPIs. And the ones that I've shown you already, I'm also using the called for. The Jane Cowie and Hannah Tingy are all called for. But I have fallen in love with this red, which to me, the photo just does not give it justice. It's, I don't know how you would describe it. Kind of a hot pepper red. It's got a little orange to it, but it's not really what I would call orangey. So wait till you see this. I'm so excited. Charlotte Frost. Now look at the color of the house and look at the reds. Now look. Isn't that fabulous? I don't know what you're seeing. So what I did on this one, I got all the grass finished, did the 6th sheep. I had 5 done. I did the house, and yes, the second story is off center, so don't tell me I made a mistake, because I didn't. I did all the over one. How about that? It's not even finished, and I've already done all the over one. With the exception, there are 2 swans, one here and one, I guess they're swans. Yeah, 2 swans that are over one. So I have to do the trees, and so I got the grass done, the house done, the little motifs over here, the motif on the side of that pot. I got the ground set for the reindeer down there. Did that center flower. Oh my gosh, I just love this. This is really, really a favorite. And by the way, that red is NPI color. It calls it a salmon. You see that? 534 is the color. I don't think it'll focus. Nope. It's color 534. So this is mostly what I've worked on. Did all the over one. I just want you to see the color of that house up close. Isn't it gorgeous? Tanya, you knocked it out of the park with this one. I think everybody should be stitching this. Everybody. Everybody. I love the motifs over here on the side. It just is so much more vibrant than the picture. I just can't get over that. This is why it's so important to be able to see a model stitched with the called for, because it may be totally different from what it looks like on the picture. So, whoops, that's about ready to fall here. That is all I've worked on. I think it was a lot, but maybe not. As far as haul, I did get another small order from Needle and Flax, Rachel. I got another piece of Dolly Madison. This one is 40 count. No, this is 46 count. I thought I ordered 46. Yeah, that's 46. Dolly Madison, a fat quarter. And then I hadn't gotten this one yet. This is Pemberley, which has it's an off-white, creamy, little bit of a buttery feel to it. That's pretty good right there. Pemberley, I got a fat quarter of 40 of that. And then this was really the reason I placed the order to begin with. And this is called Endora. I got a fat quarter of 36 for this. So, Endora, Bewitched, the mother. Bewitched mother. The reason I ordered this one is because I wanted something similar to Murky by Picture This Plus, but lighter. And this really fits the bill. So this is a piece of Murky. And Murky can be, it can have light sections, it can have dark sections. But there's a Stacy Nash, this came out quite a while ago, 2016, Mary Bovey. It's a sampler, but it's done on Murky. In my opinion, this completely hides the beauty of that sampler. I mean, I understand the wanting to make it look old and all of that. So the main reason, and I had a piece of Murky, but I've never started it because I just didn't think, for me, that was what I wanted. So now that I have Endora, I'm pretty excited to do this. And I haven't pulled the colors yet. Oops, I'll take it out of the package so you can see it a little better. I haven't pulled the colors yet, but I really feel like, now there is a white house. So I'm gonna have to figure out, something maybe lighter. Same with the alphabet, is kind of white-ish. But I certainly think there's parts of this that would work. It's not a very big sampler. Maybe if I did it on this side that has a little more dark, I think it would be perfect. So this is Endora. This is Needle and Flax Linen. You have to order it from her website. There's a few stores that are carrying it, but if you go to her website, she talks about which stores you can get her linens. So I'm kind of excited. Sometime this year, I'd like to start that and do that Mary Bovey by Stacy Nash on that Endora. So those were the only thing. Well, no, I did get one more thing. I got those 3 pieces of linen. I pulled that Mary Bovey. And then I got this project bag. This is from the Pam at the Cross Stitch Nook. I I thought it was really pretty. It's a little bit bigger than most, kind of, which I like because it works for multiple projects. So, in here, I put some things that I would love to start. This one I talked about last time. I'm going to wait till I get Charlotte Frost finished. But this one I would love to start. I talked about this last time. This is Elizabeth Harding. I have the Avera Soie, and I have a piece of XJU design hazelnut for this. Hands Across the Sea, Elizabeth Harding. I did talk about this last time. Like I said, I watched my last video, kind of fast forwarded through to see, because sometimes I don't remember what I showed you last time. Who knows? This is another one that I want to start. This is Scarlet Letter. Did I talk about this last time? No, I don't think I did. This is Elizabeth Cheatham. Rachel from Needle and Flax has started this. And I did order the kit from Scarlet Letter, but I'm not crazy about the linen. It's not Zweigart based. So I need to find a linen that will match that, which I shouldn't have a problem with. But this is a pretty big 40 count. It measures 16.5 by 18.5. Technically, that would fit on a fat quarter if I had a piece that was 19 by, instead of 18 by 27, if it was 19 by 27. See how low my voice gets? It's like I could go into broadcasting when I have a cold. So anyway, I need to find a piece of 40 count that I want to work on. I don't want to go any higher than 40 because Avera Soie d'Alger is a thicker floss than the Avera Soie 103 that comes on the spools. Thicker versus the 103 is finer. So if you're working on a 46 count and you want to use these, it's going to be a little tight. That's exactly what happened to me when I did my 7 sheet sampler by Scarlet House. I used the Avera Soie on 46 count, and even though there wasn't any, I don't think there's over one. Oh, there's a little bit over one, I think, on that. There were times it was like, it just felt bunched when I was stitching. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's in this bag of wanna starts. And then there's one other thing that, and this is one of those pie in the sky starts, and that's Dutch Beauty. I have loved this for years. Heidi Crayon stitched it a while ago. Karen Fox and Rabbit has it on their wall behind them when they video from their home. Their last video was so cute in the hotel room. Oh, I would love to meet them. I think they seem like very fun people. Anyway, Susan Stanley is also working on this. And I asked her what linen she was using because I've always kind of been a little unsure what linen to use for Dutch Beauty. I'm using the DMC, but quite a few of them are just kind of neutrals. I mean, there is a pinkish and a bluish and a brown and some darker greens, but a lot of them are these kind of neutral greens, tans. So if you get something too light, because I thought about doing it like on a cream Zweigart, if you get something too light, they're not really going to show up. But anyway, Susan Stanley was using Mayflower by Fox and Rabbit. And I decided that's what I was going to use. So I have a piece big enough, and one of these days, I'm just going to start it. It's going to be like Jane Atkinson or Anne Ufendel, one of these ones that's kind of ongoing. I'm not going to sit down and try to finish it all at once. Maybe do a page here and a page there and, you know, make progress, but not make too many expectations to hurry up and finish it. So that is Dutch Beauty. This is by Perman of Copenhagen. I'm pretty sure you can still get this. So that is another one. And when I ordered the books or the project bags from Pam at Cross Stitch Nook, she has these added with it. I love these. I mean, I could take a piece of flannel, I could bind it, put a backing, or even fusible fleece. That's probably what they use. Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time. Fusible fleece. And then, you know, just finish it. I could do that. I'd rather have it come with the project bag. Anyway, like when I'm working on Charlotte Frost, I might have a hunk of the green out, I might have a hunk of the pink and a hunk of the red. And then I can just, you know, if I'm only stitching the house, you know, I only need like 3 colors sitting out rather than opening the bag and getting, because that's a lot of work, you know. Instead of doing that, I can simply have the strands sitting on here. And it also works good if you only use a few stitches, you know. If it's silk especially, I'm not gonna throw away 3/4 of a strand. I'll set it on here, and then when I need it again, I'll pick it up. So that's my idea of being resourceful. What do you think? Excuse me. Anyway. I feel bad my husband's sick too. Okay, then I have a couple whips. So those are kind of like 3 things I'd like to start working on. And then I have a couple of whips that I pulled out. This one, I love Paulette's designs, and I probably don't talk about them enough. I love her ones that have, you know, her faith and scripture on them. I dig that. I go for it. Anyway, this is 7 Days of Creation by Paulette. This came out in 2006, so this has been around a while. Somebody said that I'm making them nauseated by showing the charts too fast. So let me see here if I can hold this for a while. 7 Days of Creation by Paulette. I don't have a very big start, just a little one. And this is 36 count light exemplar by Lakeside. And that's where I am. So it's like 2 tablets, and then it has the moon, the stars, and the sun at the bottom. I've always liked this. I think a friend of mine did this a while ago. And it was one of those, oh, I gotta get that chart for someday I wanna do that. And I'm using the called for, let's see, what am I using on this one? I thought I grabbed the threads, hold on. Yes, I have the called for silks for that. So I'd like to get back to that whip. This is another one that I started a while ago, maybe last year, maybe the year before, I don't know. This one is 1,000 Hills, which kind of to me is a companion to this one, which is Still Waters by Plum Street. Not really a companion, but they're very similar in color and size and all that. And I have a start on this one, not very big. So this is 1,000 Hills by Plum Street. And this one calls for overdyed. So I'm using the overdyed on that one. So that is another whip that I want to get back to. One more in here. This I got from the attic. And this one is a combination of overdyed and DMC. You can tell I haven't worked on this in a while. All the threads are all curlicue. And this is called Peaceful Paradise by Midsummer Night Dreams. There's a lot of stitching on that. And this one is, let's see, it's the 23rd Psalm. And just a couple of other proverbs and verses. Midsummer Night Dream. And it's called Peaceful Paradise. And I have a small start on that. This again is on 36 count vintage exemplar. And that's my start on that one. This middle thing here is the start of angel wings that are in between the two. Words go really fast, I think, or letters do, so. And this is a fat half, so this will be fairly big. Obviously not as big as the piece of fabric I have, but definitely want to get back to that. So there's a couple whips that I want to get back to soon. This ends up, it's 333 by 291, so it ends up 16 and a half, no, yeah, by 14 and a half on 40 count. So I'm not sure why I started it. Oh, I did start it on the smallest way. Anyway, I hope I'm not wasting linen. We'll see. I don't like to waste linen because since I stitch in hand, I can get by with 1.5 to 2 inch margins. I don't need a lot for like a Q-snap or a hoop or a frame. I even, on the Charlotte Frost, because it's 37 count corn tassel, did I say that? It's 37 count corn tassel. I didn't have a bit of problem stitching the over one in hand. I didn't even need to use my hoop. Now on Jane Cowie, one that is like 40 plus, I say that because it's like 42 count. That one I definitely will use the hoop on that because it just spreads it open wider so it's easier to see the threads. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit of GGR. Like I said, I've done 2 by her, Red Deer, and the other one is Isabella Fox. Those I've shown you in the last few videos when I showed stuff from the wall. I think that was like videos 60 and 61 or 61 and 62. This is one that is called Anne Ariel. I saw this stitched at Country Sampler one time. I never actually saw it like on a, so maybe it was older and they had taken the model down. I don't know, but it was standing by the register. It wasn't on the wall. I saw it and I just was like, oh my goodness, this is fabulous. Fabulous. There again, you have to remember with GGR, she shows the antique on the front. And I thought it was funny one time I was talking to Linda from Chessie and Me and Barb from Blackbird. That was one year when I was at Country Sampler for a retreat. And I was telling them about a GGR that I was working on. And they said, GGR? I said, yeah, isn't that her name? And they said, oh, we just call her Gigi. Well, her patterns say GGR, so I always say GGR. Anyway, she is from, I'm not sure, I think she lives in France, either France or Germany, because most of her things have, like on the bottom here, it's in French as well as English. Anyway, this is Anne Ariel, age 9, 1841. I love this. If you could have seen it done, you would just croak. So the piece that they had done it on was Dixie Sampler apple butter linen. They did not have any at the time, but that's what that model that I saw was stitched on. So I was able to get a piece of apple butter. This ends up 319 by 256. So it says it in centimeters. I think it ends up, if I'm reading this right, it's 13 by 16. And this is my meager start on it. I love this linen. It's dark, it's beautiful. And it's by Dixie Sampler. She usually sells her linen on Facebook periodically. So that's my start. This is also a whip that I want to get back to, but right now this is just GGR things that I'm showing you. And I am using the Country Sampler conversion of overdyed. So there's a lot of darker threads, rich, very rich, greens, reds, black. Makes me just want to pick it up today and start stitching on it. Here's another one. This is huge. I saw this first on, I think Nikki Noodle showed this one. She might be working on this. This is called Collection Privé AJ, I think it's AJS. It could be ATS. Sampler from Saxony. This is the whole thing. This is from here down, from there down, not including the very bottom. So in other words, this is a magnification of this section here. Sampler from Saxony. Again, that's the antique. This one I haven't kitted, other than I had a piece that I had kind of rejected for And They Sinned, and I pulled it because this is huge. This is huge. It's 600 and something, I think. But who's counting, right? Just one sec. See, and there's a lot of parts of it where there's no stitching. It's just blank. 237 wide by 670 high. So it ends up being 11 3/4 by 33.5. So this piece that I had, a secondary piece that was a possibility, I had special ordered it. It was a possibility for And They Sinned. Is a big, not very wide, but big long piece. And I think the color would work perfect. So, I have that in there with it. Who knows when that would come up for something I really want to stitch. I don't know. But at least it'll have the linen with it if it's ever on stash unload. And the threads are overdyed. Or DMC. She doesn't do silk. Now you can go to the attic sometimes and get a silk conversion. So yesterday I was watching Lisa Kindred Spirits' her latest one. And doggone it if she didn't show this. This is called the Rose Wreath Sampler. And Reese from Australia originally did this. It's fabulous. And it, again, is huge. This one I have with a piece of Weeks parchment, 40 count. And the overdyed cottons. I mean, it's ready to go. And this one is 300 by 427. Oops, I'm showing you the chart. Where's the front? I really want to start this. This is kind of bugging me. I want to start it. 300 by 427, which converts to 15 by 21 and a half. Well, technically you fit on a fat half. The fat, well, yeah, because a fat half is, it could almost fit on a fat quarter, but that does, no. That's just the size of the stitching. That doesn't include the, yeah, you'd have to use a fat half. Fabulous, fabulous. And that's on 40 count. Takes quite a few threads. I'll do it slower since everybody thinks I do, or a lot of people think I do it too fast. Rose Wreath Sampler by GiGi. I love it. The birds. I mean, just the wreath alone, but these two houses up here, little houses and trees and birds, and it's just gorgeous. I think Reese's video, she hasn't done a video in a long time. She's from Australia. Reese 80? Does she have a number with it, maybe? Anyway, one of her very first videos, it could have been the first one, she showed her finish of Rose Wreath. Fabulous. Here's another GGR that I really would like to do. This is the lady in red spinning her wool. I think Nicole did this. And this one ends up being on 40 count, 9 by 15. So it's not huge. But there's a lot more red here than, and this one I think I'm gonna do on a piece of, one of the Kitten Stitcher dyed pieces. But this would also work on Barb's blend because it has that kind of grayish. This one I don't even have them on a ring, but there's the overdyed flosses. Hold please. But it has this beautiful cranberry color, some really pretty greens. Just really pretty. Lady in red spinning her wool. GGR. 37 minutes. So far, so good. This is another one. Quite a few people have done this one recently, I think. I have this kitted as well with a piece of Lakeside Fawn with the overdyed threads. This one is called Martha Scott. And let's see, this one, let me see the size. Size is 7 by 11, 7 1/4 by 11 1/4 on 35 count. So 40 count is going to be a little bit smaller. It's very cute. I love the colors. It's very, very pretty. Martha Scott by GGR. A couple more that I've kitted, and then I'll show you what's in the box of some GGR ones that I have. This is Linda Gilly. This one I have kitted with 40 count light exemplar. And this one, I actually have a conversion of silks that I got from the attic. And that's this one, Linda Gilly with the horse. It has some straight stitches, it has some satin stitches, it has some couching, which is not hard. It has some Algerian eyelets, some over one, so it's kind of a combination of different stitches. Linda Gilly, 1818. I love that blue alphabet at the top. That'll be the blue alphabet. Very pretty. I think the attic had this model, and then they had the silks with it. So this is one I showed you last time I just got. This is Betrothed, and I have a piece of mink that I'm going to use on this. It has a lot of brighter colors. It's hard to see in the picture, like tangerines and oranges, and I'm going to go with the colors it calls for. And this one has my dad's birthday, September 4th, so that'll be kind of fun. This one is called the Betrothed. Did I say that? The Betrothed. I don't have it kitted with any threads yet, but it calls for all overdyed. Quite a few overdyed. It says you may need 2 skeins of tangerine, which is a classic Colorworks. So the other one I showed you last time that I had just gotten, I shouldn't have said that. I said it looked like a whiskey bottle. Somebody else said perfume bottle. I like that better. Looks like a perfume bottle. But this one is called Bridget Power, 1840. Barry Stitch Folk is working on this. Rachel pulled it out. I don't know if she has it kitted yet or not. Rachel Needle and Flax. So this one I know quite a few people are working on. This is Jane Southward, 1836. Love the house, the red house, all of it. This one ends up being 12 by 17 and a quarter, so it's not small on 40 count. And this one I have a piece of Up in the Attic by Fox and Rabbit. So this is Jane Southward with the overdyed cottons. And this is 40 count Up in the Attic. Other than the rose wreath, this is probably the one that I would be most likely to start. Jane Southward. I think Brenda, I think she finished it. I can't remember if she finished it or not, but I know she started it, I think. It's hard enough to keep track of what I'm stitching, let alone what other people are stitching. I only refer to that so that you can go look at pictures that might be on their Instagram or whatever. This next one is Mary Applewhite. It's an Adam and Eve. I've had this one for a while. Love that. I just love that. 12 years old, 1855. Mary Applewhite. And this one I have kitted with a piece of weak straw and the called for overdyes. You have to be able to see that red. There's a couple of reds. This red is Buckeye Scarlet. I love that. Weak straw, 40 count. And this one ends up being 8 3/4 by 11 3/4. So this is one that I'd really like to start also, along with all the other things I've shown you and work on it. Like, stitch faster, stitch faster. And then I have a small box. Again, I get these boxes at IKEA. Let's see what's in this one. Oh, I love this one. Oh, love this. First time I got this though, I was kind of put off because I was like, oh my goodness. And I've mentioned the word freehand. Somebody questioned me, what is freehand? Freehand is just embroidery. You know, you might be doing stem stitch or, you know, French knots, split stitch. All of those are actually embroidery stitches rather than cross stitches. Versus like Algerian eyelet or satin stitch, although that's technically embroidery, but that kind of goes with thinking about cross stitch. Rice stitch, queen stitch, those are all more what I think of as cross stitch, but maybe it's just they kind of cross over and blend. This is the polka dot cow. I love this piece. And then I realized these tassels are all done freehand. But I love that. Maybe you could leave the tassels off. Most of Anne's sampler was worked using cross stitch over 2 threads. However, other stitches were cross stitch over 1 thread, chain stitch. Now chain stitch, that would be something I would consider embroidery. Counted and freehand stitch, a little bit of stem stitch and a few Algerian eyes. But maybe I still want to do it. I think I do. So pretty. Polka dot cow. Because right here is the polka dot cow. These are ones I don't have kitted. They're just in the box. So see, I look at this and I'm like, I don't need anything from Victorian Rose tomorrow. Maybe it's a good thing to look at all this. This is Anne Gould. This is just a really, this gal was 5 years old and 6 months. Make sure you remember she was 5, so she was 5.5. Anne Gould. It's just a cute little marking sampler. I don't think this was kitted. It could have been, I don't know, but I do have a conversion from Country Sampler for this. This is a sweet little marking sampler. I think this is another one that Lisa Kindred Stitcher showed. In fact, I know she did. She said she didn't know if it was MJ or MT, 1810 with all the birds. Another big one. This one ends up being 28 3/4 by 22. Yeah, that's rather large. And that one is MJ or MT, not sure. I think it's MJ. 1810. This one, I should have taken these out. 49 minutes. I said I wasn't going to go an hour, and I'm not. Okay, this one is Ida Dorothea Lambert. That one again is a big one. I want to say maybe Ellen Chester did that one. Not sure. Let's see. I have one other one in here. No, I actually have 2. This is Hannah Hammond's. I won't take it out of the package. So speed up time. It's an Adam and Eve, lots and lots of red. Love that. And the last one, oh, no, that's not, that's something else. Hold on. The last one is Mary Forsyth / Mary Brown. So you never know. Maybe she did part of it when she was single and the rest when she was married. Let's see if I can pull that out there. Mary Forsyth, Mary Brown. Love that red house. I think that's a monkey up there by the tree. I really like this. And that is all I'm going to show you. I'm hoping to film my first quilt video either Sunday or Monday, depending on how I feel. One of the things that's holding me up is I'm searching for some of the quilts that my grandmother made. I think I know where they are. I haven't gotten to that area yet. I think they're in a trunk somewhere. Anyway, that's one of the things that's holding me up, trying to find some of those. So I hope you're having a good week. I hope you all get a chance to get some new market things. I especially loved Plum Street, Brenda Gervais. There's just lots. I love the Scarlet House. I love all the little smalls. Of course, Blackbird. Fabulous. So that's about all I have. 50 minutes. Went longer than I wanted to. I wanted to only go about 35, but so far my voice has held out. So anyway, I hope you all have a good week and just keep stitching. Love ya. Bye.